What's going on, guys? It's Tuesday. That means it's TransWorld Live. And hopefully you can hear me. We are breaking some ground tonight, as you definitely might have experienced from last week. Boy, did we have some problems, but we have the amazing, and always wonderful and always on top of it, Robert, who has really, literally fixed a whole lot of stuff. 15 minutes ago, we were going a different direction, and now we're going in a completely different direction thanks to him and having a backup plan. So huge credit to him. Awesome. Guys, I'm so excited to have you here. It's Tuesday. We are breaking some ground here. Give us a little bit of patience here because we don't know where everything is yet. We are learning all of the fun new toys that we have on this new streaming service here. Devin, what's going on? I definitely see you. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. And guys, when you come in and watch us, like Sean Fenner, there we go. If we're going to break some ground, we need Sean Fenner here. If you're going to log in, please let us know that you're here. Say hi. We'd love to feature your comment on here. So super excited, guys. This is amazing. Thank you so much for all of your patience last week. Obviously, we did have some challenges, and so excited that we are over those right now. And to Brett Molitar, you're absolutely right. I need to get off the dial-up. Definitely. That was actually half the reason. So we're glad that we're over that now. Guys, it's good to see you guys. Hey, it's good to see you coming in. We love that. Awesome. All right, we got lots to cover tonight, but we want to say a huge shout out to all of our favorite friends who are in the middle of an ocean right now on TaterCon. Guys, what's going on? We hope you are having some smooth sailing and some beverages for us. So all of our friends on TaterCon, have a good time. We've got some birthdays to celebrate today. Angela Dunn and Dawn Slanker. Happy birthday to both of them. Tomorrow, Aaron Souza. On the 8th, we got a lot on the 8th, actually. Liz Coventry, Sean Boswell, Tristan Cook, Kate Tumovich, and James Hardy. On the 9th, we got Jonathan Unick and Justin Cerniak. And on the 10th, Sean Lefevre, Alex Berland, Dave Schonk, and Carly Craig. But not to be outdone, on the 11th, which is also Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. We got Randy England, we got Sean Fuchs, and Bradley Bass. So happy birthday to all of them. If you see them, please celebrate with us. We are definitely almost on the road to MHC, and we've got tons to talk about. We do need to get through our recap of the East Coast Christmas show. So excited to do that. But for all of you that are looking for information about Midwest Haunters Convention, we're going to dive in just a little bit here. The website is being updated right now thanks to Chad Savage. So we've got a whole lot of new stuff that's coming out. The daily events are coming out. We've got the Friday screening of Haunt Season. Awesome movie. Can't wait to see that with all of you. Of course, the Friday night featured haunt tour with Abandon. We're going to have those guys on in a little bit here. The seminars are being released. All of the new stage and pit activities. We're bringing the Olympics right here to MHC. Super excited about that. The Zombie Walk, Bloody Mary Makeup Wars, the Saturday Night Costume Party, and it goes on and on and on. We definitely want you there. It's June 6th through the 8th at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center right there in Rosemont. So you can fly right into O'Hare. That's ORD for those that are traveling from out of town. Make sure you get there super quick. Got some great restaurants, some great people, and a great time ahead of you. June 6th through the 8th. MidwestHauntersCon.com. Check it out. And we will have a little bit more information about them later in the show. But like we talked about last week, we got through the East Coast Haunters Convention. And holy cow, guys, it was insane. I mean, just packed. It literally was shoulder to shoulder. But we didn't get a chance to dive into the very first inaugural East Coast Christmas show. And to do that, we need some amazing people to help us do that. So let's welcome to the stage here. We've got James Hohensee from Boscoyo Studio. We've got Mynor Mendoza from Your Pixel Store. Looks like we got David Peace from Experience Lights. And I know joining us at some point is going to be Shane Dabbs from Santaland and maybe Layla. We don't know. But guys, what's up?
Oh man, it's absolutely great, man. Just getting back from the show and trying to get caught up.
Oh my, it's so exciting to see all three of you and Shane as well. I don't want to leave him out, but you guys have worked so close with Jen and Rich to put this event together. Tell us about it. For those that didn't experience it, how was it from you, for each of you?
I'll start.
Let's David Peace to the rescue. Bro Shampoo.
It was fantastic. I was telling Rich and Jen that this was one of the top, if not the top, most profitable events for me as a vendor. So It was fantastic from that standpoint. The attendance was kind of off the charts. I was hoarse by the end of day one. You probably saw pictures. There was a line out the door around the building, and I got there an hour early, and there was already that line forming. So just from the attendance standpoint alone, and everybody had to have their LED name tags. I brought 100 of those, and I wasn't even planning on selling them. Yeah. I sold out on those and by noon. So no, from that, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Love that. Mynor?
I'm going to reiterate what he just said. It was an amazing turnout. Christmas people, Halloween people came through. It was just a mixture of an audience, exactly what I wanted and hoped for this show. It definitely lived up to our expectations, and I'm definitely looking forward for 2026 already. I've already said I'm doing it. It's not even a maybe, so it's a definitely for sure. It just, like I said, it did everything I wanted as a vendor, and then hearing the feedback from customers, it was mostly everything they wanted as customers. So for year one, definitely I think we knocked it out the ballpark, and we can definitely improve. But overall, I think the experience was very beneficial for vendors and the customers.
Love that. Yeah. Good. James?
Yeah, no, absolutely. My favorite part was when we were talking about the line. Rich, I was talking to Jen, and Rich comes in there like a little kid in a candy store. He's like, "Did you see the line? Did you see the line?" And so we all go outside, and it just keeps on going around the building. It was absolutely amazing. For a year one for the show, I don't think it could have went any better. We learned a lot. Luckily, I've been fortunate enough to work with Jen and Rich on helping set up some of the stuff with the show. And I talked to her earlier today about some options and things that we can do better for next year, and how we're going to kind of keep building and kind of creating that brand of this Christmas show for East Coast. So yeah, a lot of new stuff coming out, and for year one, it was an amazing show. We had a great time.
I love to hear that. And I couldn't agree more. Like, we had gone out for TransWorld Live to look at that line, and it was huge, and people were just excited. We moved that line very quickly, and people really had a great time. We got a chance to catch in about like what their favorite parts were. And I know that each of you might have a favorite part. I'm going to take an easy one that a lot of kids loved. And they're showing us pictures. You guys had Mr. and Mrs. Claus there all weekend.
Yeah, so we had the idea of putting a kid zone in place, and Jen was like, "Can we do something to make it fun?" So we kind of did it, didn't ask for permission, just kind of took over that area and created this kid zone that kind of just expanded our booth. And Jen bought a whole bunch of games and crafts and things for the kids to do, and we actually made some new games that the kids, like little beanbag games and things like that the kids can play with. And there was a constant line of kids doing these crafts. It was pretty awesome. So kind of give the parents a little break. We brought our light up couch, so the parents were sitting over there and the kids are over here doing their crafts, and just give the parents a break.
Loving it.
Now, do we know where to get the "I Survived the Blackout" t-shirts? I heard those were available somewhere.
It's the comments are in the chat. Holy cow, that was a once in a lifetime, hopefully, for all of us. how was life? We were standing on stage performing a sketch, and everything just. How was it for you guys when that happened? Where were you when the blackout of 2025 happened?
I was making my biggest sale of the day, and then no. It didn't really impact much.
Yeah.
Love it.
It was more of a gasp. I'm sure you guys heard the gasp. It's like, what's going on? And everybody's like complete silence for a few seconds. And then it just went back to business. Like, hey, we're like, hey, we just got to do what we got to do. But yeah, it was really interesting. Never had that happen before at a convention. So first time for everything, right? So I would have loved to be on the Halloween side. I've heard the stories over there. So
yeah, we were lucky enough. We actually had windows up in the front, so we had some lighting. Yeah. Whereas in the Halloween side, there was no exterior windows.
No, not at all. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just want to take a quick break to say, hey, Caitlin Hodges, yes, we love you and Froggy's Fog, and you guys are mid-ocean right now on TaterCon. We know that we got to celebrate a little of those blackout moments with you as well. And I know that Rich and Jen talked about that a little bit last week as well. What a monumental. Okay, speaking of monumental things, like Layla is a showstopper. I know Shane's not here, but anytime Layla is in the room, like heads are just turning.
Yeah. The little monkey is definitely the star of the show.
yeah. How many conventions could say they have a monkey in their show? Like that's it enough. A cute monkey at that. So
it's adorable. Oh yeah. My gosh. It was great to see so many people happy, and we got a chance to look through all the amazing products. You guys are veterans. People in the chat are calling you the legendary group, which is very, very fitting. What products did you guys see that you'd like to mention, or anything that stood out that maybe somebody missed it and might want to look it up?
Go ahead, Mynor. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's good at Mynor.
Yeah, I was waiting on you guys on that one. I kind of like the beanbag stuff that you had, James. That was really cool. It's simple, but it works. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I saw the kids were playing with that. I was like, that's cool. It's like I said, it's simple. It works. It's not something like whoa out of this world, but it just worked. And I was like, that's cool. And I definitely saw that. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of more coming from that. So definitely I could see that being something that people are going to be like, hey, I could put that in front of my garage and just play a game.
Yeah. And that was just a real quick last minute ad. Yeah. You need something. I guess that's kind of the cool thing is it kept it really simple. It didn't overcomplicate it. And so I think we made two different versions, a pumpkin and a Santa Claus, but we could easily add more and of course complicate it and add lights to it, because we need that. So gotta have lights.
But, always lights.
Yeah, and we put lights in everything. That's what we do.
So. I'm pretty sure I've seen that slogan somewhere.
Of course.
One thing that I really like about this show, in contrast to St. Louis, which is very much on the commercial, big decor, big stuff. This is more on the residential side and a lot more cash and carry, which is really, really nice. And for people that are thinking about coming, that is a very big differentiation. I think between the two shows, in that you can come and you can actually see the products laid out, and you can, Shane had a giant table of just, I don't even know how many things, but, just all things that you can just buy, take with you. And, your wallet will be a little lighter, but there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I think you're going to see more and more of that as the vendors realize that that's really what that show's tailored for. When speaking with Rich, there's kind of like a limited size of how big your booth can be. And it's done on purpose. So you don't get just this ginormous company coming in and putting a bunch of wireframes or stuff like that. This is designed to be more for the DIYer, just the home decorator in general. And so you're going to see some of the changes that we're going to help make is going to kind of tailor it to that. So you do create two separate entities. You have the TransWorld in St. Louis, and then you have this Christmas show, or Halloween and Christmas show. But again, it's the clientele. This is our commercial side. This is our DIY. And it helps the vendor know what products to bring to what show. Because the products I'm going to bring to this show are totally different than the one I do in St. Louis or MH, the others. So,
And And on that note as well, the seminars were also tailored to do-it-yourselfers with a better price point for those that are just working on decorating their houses. I know you guys helped a lot with making those happen. How was the education series that was offered at East Coast Christmas Show?
Well, I had James harassing me during mine, so it wasn't so great.
That sounds like a win.
Power didn't go out during yours. So.
We need a good heckler.
Yeah, he came in, and I knew that the only purpose was to give me crap. So
That was helpful. What are you talking about? Subject matter expert. So.
SMB all the way.
No, it was cool. It was cool because there was the two different, cordoned off areas, but it wasn't like you were so far away. It was actually on the floor, just kind of cordoned off where they had the education. So it was nice. It was close.
It worked. I think personally, I like the corners. It worked. It just at first, when we were planning the show, I think if you remember, James, we were planning the show. We were a little hesitant about having the classes on the field. Like we're like, maybe we need a conference room. I personally think it worked because it kept the people there. Like, hey, once you're done with your class, you're back on the vendor hall, and so it worked perfectly. And it wasn't like loud. I thought that was one of the issues that we were worried about. That was going to be too loud, and you weren't going to be able to teach your class. But it wasn't. It worked fine. Of course, there's a couple of things that I've already talked to Rich and Jen about, and I'm sure James has. There's going to be some tweaks to it and how we approach it. But definitely overall, I think that the whole setup worked pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah, and we were a little bit selective on what vendors were close to those seminar rooms just for that. You didn't want somebody that had something very loud, was constantly making noise, and so they wouldn't compete with each other, right? As the students were in there, they could still hear. Plus, that teacher they had a microphone, so they were able to overcome anything anyway. But you still didn't want it bleeding out of that area too bad.
No,
but it went well. I didn't hear any complaints about being able to hear. I even taught a class, and it was very easy to communicate with your students. So yeah, it worked. It worked well.
That's awesome.
Speaking of which, I was pretty surprised with how big that vendor floor was. Again, going back to that, this is the first year, and it was full.
Yes,
it was sold out. Yeah,
that was pretty impressive.
Rich did an amazing job, as well as with all of your assistants, but literally packing every space with an exhibitor.
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily, that venue does have another hall. I think as this grows, there's room to add. I don't know how big it is, but there's another hall right there behind us. So, so it's room to grow, and I think at some point we will take that hall.
Love that. Shane, I'm so sorry. I can't wait for Shane to be here. We're always excited about his presence. But Alan in the chat actually was commiserating. He was teaching when the blackout hit. That's where he was. So, Now, okay, we got to give credit, obviously, on behalf of the entire buyers board. Congratulations to James, who not only won Best Booth, but also Best New Product.
That was pretty awesome. I definitely wasn't expecting it. We did do a lot on the booth. That was kind of, again, a last minute thing. Once we were given the kids zone, it was like, let's do something fun. And so it gives us an opportunity to kind of experiment with different things. And so I think that was the first time that's ever happened. And then, of course, our backdrops or our pedestrian tunnel facades that you see behind them. That won Best New Product, and you'll see a lot more of those. We'll have some more for the haunt. We're currently working on the one for the MHC coming up. So a lot more of those, and we're starting to make them so that they're customizable to various haunts. So maybe you have a queue line, or you got a ticket line, or snacks or something like that. You can use one of these relatively inexpensive entries to designate where that line starts or where to go to get those items. So.
Love it.
But those seem to go really well, and they've been very well liked, if you will, by the audiences. So, like I say, they're brand new. We've designed the whole system with the metal support frame. We sell the little connectors, and you just go buy a standard 1-inch EMT from Home Depot or Lowe's or your favorite box store, and you just cut it. We have a little cut sheet of how you cut them, and you just bolt it together real quick. No welding, nothing fancy.
Dig it.
So
nice work.
Thank you.
Well, and also a point I'm supposed to bring up here that James's wardrobe was a hit throughout the entire show. So nicely job on your apparel, as well as Shane. Shane always comes dressed to impress, but James is here talking about it.
Shane's got me beat, man. I don't have sequin coats. Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta step up my game on the t-shirt. You guys
got
are
some new ones.
Yeah, I gotta step up my game.
That's right.
Black shirt isn't gonna work anymore. You guys are picking it up another notch.
Look, I remember the first time I was at TransWorld in St. Louis, and I walked through the Halloween side, and I had one of my bright shirts on like that, and it was just so funny looking at everybody looking at me, and it's like, yeah, whatever. There's other colors in the rainbow.
I'll have to add some sequins to my flip-flops.
I love it. All right. We had an awesome show floor. And thanks to all three of you for making all of that possible. Did any of you guys get out and get to do some of the fun events? I know we had tons of haunt stuff, but specifically for the Christmas side, I think kicked off our excursions at Hershey Park, and I got to see some of you there. That was awesome.
Yeah, Hershey was absolutely great. That was our first time going up in that area. So, right, you got to go to a new theme park. And Hershey was a great host for that event.
Yes, they were.
It was an amazing place. So.
For those that didn't get a chance to do this, what an opportunity. And again, I know Jen worked a lot on that, making that possible, and all of our good friends from Hershey. But we literally had like 5 or 6 big boy roller coasters to ourselves for 2 hours.
Yeah. It was right. Very cool. It was good food too.
It was such an awesome thing when you're walking around and all you see is people from the show, and you see your friends, and all of the signs have our branding, and just a cool opportunity to be, part of this exclusive club that is East Coast Haunters Convention and East Coast Christmas Show. So
absolutely.
So excited.
And the fact that they're only open on the weekends right now, I think until Memorial Day. Is that right?
I think that's about right. Yeah.
Something like that. So to say we exclusively had it for that Friday was pretty amazing. So
very, very much. And we staved off the rain. There was a few sprinkles of liquid love, but it was nothing that shut us down.
No.
Exactly.
Weather was good. So
okay,
and
now
we got some really big milkshakes afterwards.
Yes. Now I saw some folks walking around with like the 1 pound make your own Reese's. Did you guys dabble in that at all? Because I know it's chocolate world there.
Was that the person that ate it? The one that
I think so.
End result, yeah.
Diabetic shock right there.
No, we went to that chocolate emporium or whatever afterwards and got big milkshakes, but we didn't get the Reese's.
Okay.
It was pretty cool because a lot of their foods some of them had chocolate themes, whether it was a type of sauces and things like that. The big Ferris wheel of appetizers.
We got that,
yeah. It was pretty awesome. So
the Molly Peck Thunderstruck there, sneaking in there.
I'm sure we'll be back next year. So
it was awesome. It really was. And I got to give credit, obviously, to their entire team, but so hospitable, amazing hosts, and just took great care of us. We had food, great rides, and good times. Now, if we weren't exhausted I know we had an additional haunted house. I think some of us came to that. Did any of you go to the Arnold's after party that was mainly for Christmas, but anybody could have come?
Yep, I actually made it there. They had bands, and of course you could bowl and games and go karts, and it was pretty cool. And that was a big old factory, I guess, is what it used to be, and it's just anything you could imagine, right? I mean, laser tag and just tons of stuff just cram packed in there. It was pretty awesome as well. So we were there till I don't know what time we left. It was late. So.
Yeah, I wanted to go, but we were at Hershey. Got back at like 1:30. So
yes.
We stayed a little.
I was at Screams. I was at Philly.
I was just saying. Oh no, Minor down.
Yeah, I was at Field of Screams, and so I didn't get to join the two gentlemen at any of these. But Field of Screams was awesome. Even for a Christmas person, I was like, "Oh, this is all like that is state of the art stuff. That's some good stuff over there. They did a great job over there."
What a show. Agreed. Yeah. And I know we're not it's still entertainment, and those guys really know how to put on a great show. So
100%.
And again, the rain did not stop us, so we had a good time there too.
No, I think the rain started maybe at 11:30, 12 o'clock. By that time, most people had already gone through, and they were going again after that. So most people were like, "Hey, it's time to hit the road," and it was perfect timing for everybody. And I mean, it was like I said, it was a great show. I love Halloween, so what they did over there was superb. The hayride walkthrough was amazing. That's Universal Studio quality stuff that they're putting together out there. It's 35 years of work. That's what they told us. So it's great stuff. Like I said, I know we're Halloween, Christmas. We're supposed to be, but it was, for me, it was like, this is awesome. So it was definitely an eye opener of what you can do when you put in a lot of work into a show.
It's a family. It's a family.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
maybe next year.
There's just, and that's the beauty of East Coast Haunters Convention, East Coast Christmas Show, and now Midwest is we try to pack in a lot of stuff. So if you ever come to Jen and Rich and say, I'm bored, that can't happen. That really can't.
Oh, no. If it's not Halloween, you got Christmas stuff going on. There's always something to do.
Yeah, the worst part is trying to decide what you're going to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the hardest.
Yeah,
and that was only Friday. We still have Saturday.
Show floor opens on Saturday. Obviously, we talked about that, and then afterwards, we do something that we've never done before. Instead of just a haunted house tour, we do Christmas lights. We do an X Lights tour to two of the area attractions, or two different houses that left everything up for us and showed us how it ran. How was that? I really wanted to be there.
Yeah, so I got an opportunity to go on it, and we had about 30 plus people there. It was great. The only complaint we heard about was the bus ride. It was one of the school buses. It wasn't comfortable, but besides that, everybody got exactly what they were looking for. The first house was a DIY type of house, and he showed us, hey, you can get Home Depot stuff, convert it to X Lights and Lightorama stuff, and how he did that. And people, were like, hey, this is how my house looks right now. I can see adding these elements here and there. And then the second house was like pretty much a bigger show. It had moving heads. It was fantastic. They both did a fantastic job. I want to thank Mike and Andrew for leaving their homes up for us to be able to do that. For the most part, we've got a lot of positive feedback from it. Of course, we want to always improve. So definitely, if you have any more feedback, feel free to reach out for the people that are listening out there. I honestly believe it could have not gone any better. And some of the stuff that we planned for didn't happen because the people were like, nah, we want to do this. We're like, sure. Yeah. So we're like, sure, if that's what you guys want to do. So a lot of people really wanted to be hands-on, go to the actual product. Well, okay, this mega tree. What parts did you use to put this together? How did you string this up? Oh, those are mounting strips. From Boscoyo. Okay, awesome, great. All right, what spacing is that? So then there was like people going projection mapping. How'd you do that? How'd you get your moving heads up there? It was all it was really awesome. And then the same thing with the smaller show at the beginning. It's like, hey, how'd you do this? They walked us through the sequencing parts, and so it really was eye-opening for a lot of the people that were there, a lot of beginners. So it was really beneficial for them because they wanted to see what's a smart receiver. With the experienced lights controller, what's a smart receiver? How do you connect that to a regular controller? And they were able to see that hands-on, and I think it helped with some of their questions, and like, oh, it's a eureka moment for them at the actual show.
That's awesome too, because you get to see so many different experience levels, kind of break down those barriers. So it's not as intimidating and saying, wow, I love your show. How can I do that for myself? And then let me show you, let me actually show you.
And I think that's the big difference between this show and some of the other shows is now we're trying to get you at the entry level, to the intermediate, to even some of the advanced guys. There's something for everybody, and this group, they'll help anybody. And I think we've noticed that with the Halloween side. It's the same thing on the Christmas side. That's how most of us got started in the business, is we were helping other people. And it was just like, oh, wow, this is what I do. Well, can you make me something? And it's like all of a sudden we're making other things and selling it, and it creates a business 13 years ago. So it just happens.
And here we are.
Yeah. And so everybody wants to help everybody. We want to see everybody succeed. And, if you can't get help, it's probably your own fault because you didn't ask. There's so many resources that you can get help for free or paid if you want. But there's a lot of resources out there, and I think this show is to start bringing those people, so introducing them those avenues that they can get that help and learn how to do the show and make your own world.
Love this. And thanks to all of you for being open to that. That's a tough thing. You're running your own businesses, but as like Sean Fenner and many of our folks here that watch us week after week, we call it haunters helping haunters, but really it's anybody in the entertainment industry. We're a family and we're taking care of each other. And you guys are putting that on pause. You guys are saying, no, I want to help. I want to help you succeed and solve your problem. And hats off to all three of you. Just thank you. Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
I think we have to give Rich and Jenna a round of applause too, because they allowed us to do this. Think about it. We've pitched this to other people, and it goes nowhere. Rich and Jen were like, "Sure, let's give it a try." And if it works, if it works, they're like, "Great, let's keep on going." If it doesn't, they're like, "Oh, let's get rid of it." They're like, "Well, what can we do to improve it?" Yeah. And that's the key right there. I think that's the most important thing. They take our feedback and they help us run with it and say, okay, it's your baby. How do you want to grow it from here? Okay, all right, this didn't work. Let's fix this for next time. So that's really appreciative as a vendor and as a consumer. That's really appreciative that the feedback is, taken in and actually they do something with it.
Yeah.
Could not agree more. It's a partnership, and we can't do it without you guys. You guys, are key and essential to this. Dare I ask, and I know this is no promises, and certainly there's, 10 more months of conversation to be had before our next East Coast Christmas show. But could you give a hint of maybe some suggestions that you're working on with Rich and Jen about next year's show?
I know what I want to do. No, I've suggested this, and I think that I think that it sounds like it may move forward. I thought, and I think that the Haunters do something similar as well. But Chris, as you saw when you came out to Nashville, we like to have some fun, do some game shows.
Yes.
So I think it would be very fun to set up a stage, set aside an hour or two where you're doing something fun. It can't all just be learning and vendors and buying stuff. You got to have just, some group fun and embarrass people, bring them up on stage and embarrass them. So
amen to that.
Hopefully we can have some fun stage stuff next year.
Yeah. I'm sure we can make that happen, especially at some of the other events like at Arnold's or even at the hotels. No different than like we do in St. Louis, there's events going on at almost all the hotels, right? There's something to go do. So I definitely think that's something that'll get worked into next year as well. So
we got to have a mosh pit on the Christmas side, like Halloween.
Mosh pit?
We have the pit.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like we got to have a pit on the Christmas side.
It's going to be throwing glitter.
Yeah, glitter. Running in. Got to have it now.
Oh man.
Rich is listening right now. He's making it happen.
Yeah. They're gonna wake up in the morning with glitter. Where'd that come from?
Yeah,
it doesn't belong there.
We're gonna have Santa fist pumping. Yeah, you got to get something going. It's like when don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fun on the Christmas side, but I'm sure if you guys got an opportunity to go on the Halloween side, it's a whole different animal, man. It's like, it's Party City over there. There you go.
Well, and they've got almost 40 years of experience in the Halloween side. So we're still playing catch up, right? We've done Christmas at TransWorld for 5 years now, I believe. And now this is the first year of the East Coast. So it's going to grow. It's going to grow every year. Like I said, this time we're going to create some more, maybe there's more things that are vendor sponsored. With some of the classes where it's you actually make it and take it with you. So you're going to see a lot more of that evolve into this show. Anything from controllers to, pixel panels, maybe some hats, some scrolling flexible P panels on them. We've got a lot of great ideas. Haven't been told no yet. And there's some other stuff I probably don't want to say because I might get in trouble, but there's more cool stuff coming up this way.
I heard Rich and Jen were going to give everybody a check for $500 as soon as they walk through the door, every attendee. That's what I heard.
Yeah, but we're going to raise the entry to $1,000.
You're getting your money back. Okay.
Do I have to put an asterisk? These statements do not represent.
And the show is getting shut down now. Well, guys, we love you guys. What's awesome is even in the chat, Shannon Hops is just talking about how the love of Christmas. We've seen that from constant haunters. And if everyone thinks there's a division, I mean, being able to witness it, yeah, maybe the pit's where the party's at, but people were always going over to check out what you guys had going on. People are looking to diversify, but they also love the lights and the different stuff you're doing with Coro and the different props. It's awesome to expose that to, like you said, a 40-year plus industry that's still learning from you guys.
I think what we're learning or what we're showing them is how to integrate what we do into what they do. Or how to extend their revenue season, right? Because just because they got 4 to 5 weeks out of Halloween, well, let's get another 4 to 5 weeks out of your investment that you already have. And so once they learn how to use some of our technology and appease a whole nother crowd, they have the clientele. Just start marketing it, and you got a new event to go through. So increase your revenue.
Amen.
We're just helping you. I try not to say I'm Christmas or Halloween because I'm like a closet haunter, even though I'm in the Christmas side. And I need to go grab my weapon. So my thing is, I grab weapons every time I go to these things. I get new weapons every time, and so I actually commissioned a custom Christmas chainsaw. Right? I mean, who doesn't need one, right?
Right.
But, so yeah, I like my weapons. That's my new thing I've been doing since I've been doing TransWorld. So
yeah, it's actually amazing how much crossover there actually is. Aside, you're talking about theming differences, but the backbone's very, very similar. I had other than the name tags, which also we're very popular. I brought a lot of a product called Pixel DMX. It's a very small thing. I brought a lot of them, and nearly sold out. And it was probably 90% hunters that bought this. So it was pretty neat to see a new customer coming through, whereas it's always been Christmas, right? But having Christmas and Halloween both there, it was very beneficial for sure.
Yeah.
Amen.
I agree with both of them. I got a great opportunity to talk to Alan Hobbs from Still Beast. By the way, that's one of the people I started my Halloween hunt watching his videos. So I kind of like, it was a geek out moment for me. I was like, oh my God, he's at my booth. Like, he's like, I know you're my name. I was like, oh my. I was like blushing and everything. But he comes over there with his ideas, and I'm like, oh man, it basically what you guys said. It gave an opportunity for the Halloween people to see what we can do, and what Halloween does. One of the things that Halloween does really well is like movement stuff. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of the lighting stuff a lot better. Combining that together, it gives you just an amazing show. And I had a couple other people show up and talk to me as well from the Halloween side, and it was really cool. Again, it was just really awesome to be able to pick their brains, and they're picking my brain about how can we make Christmas and Halloween work together. And it's just awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. I mean, for me personally, as a vendor, that's exactly what I wanted. You wanted to open up more venues. Like, hey, we can do Christmas. We know that. I think we have a couple of good heavy hitters here. But the Halloween side, they have their heavy hitters. Like James said, they have 40 plus years of this stuff. We got to listen to what they're doing, some of the stuff they're doing, and how can we incorporate that on the Christmas side? And I think that's gonna be really cool. Like evolution of what kind of cool products we can come up with and cool ideas for next year.
Love it, guys. I couldn't say it better myself. Truly, I know that you have had countless hours to get where we were just 2 weeks ago, and I know that we're already starting to plan for next year. So please mark your dates: April 23rd through the 26th, 2026. We're going to be at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. Sorry, same place, same bad time, same bad channel. But before we close this out, anything you want to say to the audience as we decompress from this year and get ready for next?
think my son just
it'll be
fell down
better
the
next
stairs.
year. So we've got some great ideas, and definitely are looking forward to next year.
Love it. Love it. Sorry, David, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying I think my son just fell down the stairs.
No. We are live.
Yeah. Sorry, the question was, what am I looking forward to next year?
Yes.
Seeing James's new shirt.
Yes. That was my bucket list.
Again, just reiterating a broken record here. It was just such a phenomenal first year. Nothing's perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, but it's just going to keep getting better and better. And I'm just super, super stoked that this is kind of like the starting area. Unfortunately, this is the starting area because now you have a high bar to cross. So no, it's going to be good next year. It's going to be really, really good.
I think so.
As long as they continue listening, I think the feedback and just not from vendors, they listen to feedback from other people too. They actually watch the Facebook posts, they read about that stuff, and they come to us and like, hey, did you see this? How can we improve this? So they're always looking for ideas, and that's the cool thing about it. And if you didn't get a chance to go to the East Coast, Midwest is just around the corner. There's no Christmas show there specifically, but there'll be a handful of Christmas people there, and of course all the Halloween people will be there. So definitely, you still get an opportunity to do one more show. And then of course, like you said, next year we'll be looking forward to it already, and it's exciting.
Can't wait, and can't wait to see all of you guys very, very soon. I know on behalf of Jen and Rich, they want us to thank you so much again for all your hard work, and on behalf of all of our viewers, truly, we can't wait to see how we raise that bar next year, because this year was pretty awesome. So can't wait until next one.
Yep. Thank you,
guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, TransWorld Live, but wait, there's more. We have a special announcement here from our amazing sponsor, Ticket Spice. All right, we are officially on the road to Midwest Haunters Convention. Beyond excited. June 6th through the 8th, the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont, Illinois, right outside of O'Hare Airport. So make sure that you get your tickets now. We're going to dive into all things Midwest Haunters Convention, but let's tease you a little bit on what we're going to focus on right now. Goosebumps. Oh my gosh, goosebumps. TransWorld Live, help me in welcoming from abandoned haunted house complex, Corey Stevens, Matt Berg. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Chris, thanks.
Guys, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Just getting ready for MHC.
Oh my God. Okay, I know it's your product. I know it's your baby. I have seen it many times since your very first year. But do you get goosebumps like that? Like, I just watching that, I'm just like, okay, I've seen all that stuff. I'm still jacked to go.
I think sometimes, I mean, it's cool when you build something and then it comes to life. So of course, stuff like that gives you goosebumps after, many, many years, it still comes.
So excited. Oh my gosh, guys, we need to tell everybody because this is the year. We know we featured you guys a bunch of years back, and it was during the daylight, and Molly Peck was doing Thunderstruck stuff. And I mean, it was just craziness. But now you are our featured haunt. You're our only haunt tour of the entire MHC weekend because you're that big. Let's talk about everything that is abandoned. I mean, you guys are multi-award winners all across the board. You've got acting award winners from Haunted House Chicago. You've got 3 fully featured haunted attractions. Where do we start?
You want to take this one, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's if you, I guess to sum up what abandoned is, it's just it's a full overall experience. You know, you're going to experience everything from super interactive stuff to high startle scares, really high detailed sets. We try to pack as much as we possibly can into a full evening, and we want it to be a full evening. We want it to be like a one-stop shop. You just have a lot of fun there. So that's kind of the go around of abandoned.
I love it. And we're getting to see some pictures here, courtesy of Caitlin Adams of Haunted House Chicago here, showcasing some of your beautiful scenery here.
Yeah, that's what you just saw there that was the diner. That's actually our concession stand. And we wanted to go with this old school diner feel to it. And as you can see, the sign kind of flickers out from diner to die.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it's good to have food and obviously creepy scenes. So.
Love this. And I want to give people like the magnitude of how big this place is. Like you guys don't just have like 3 small little attractions. You guys are huge. How big is your entire property?
We have about 15.5 acres that are considered ours.
Sure.
There's some state land that we have taken over, but all in all, it's about 15.5 acres. The building is surprisingly only about 12.5 thousand square feet.
Okay.
People drive by and they're shocked when they go through and they're like, how did you guys fit all that stuff into that tiny building?
Yes.
There's 2 haunted houses inside. So Ambush and Hysteria are back to back inside. It takes approximately 20 minutes per haunt inside. And then Stalker, which is kind of indoor outdoor, that one is surprisingly at about 25-30 minutes. So you're looking at about an hour and 10 minutes of inside the attraction time at abandoned. So it's a long attraction.
I definitely can attest to that. Like this is not just, you know, hit quick hits and you're moving. They are playing with you. And in between those 3 attractions, I know we're showcasing some of your highlighted actors, but your entire crew literally are playing with you. You are just Play-Doh as you're waiting to get into that next attraction.
Yeah, we've got roamers that are outside. We've got concessions. We've got merchandise. We've got beer and seltzers. We've got burn barrels for people to stand around and enjoy their cocktails in between haunts. So we like to have people enjoy themselves, not just when they're in the attractions, but they should be entertained the entire time they're on the property. It should be a fun experience. When I was a kid, I loved the wait. Like, yes. I love the people watching. I love the actors. I loved all that stuff. I mean, the attractions are great. But if it's not fun when you're waiting outside, I mean, our first year, I think we had 1 spotlight, the entire back waiting area, no video screen. We've got a 10 by 20 foot video screen that's shooting fire off of it. But our first year, oh my gosh, we look back and wonder, how did people stand in line for 2.5 hours waiting to get in with a couple actors roaming around and nothing to look at? So it's changed a lot since then.
It's so true. And these are beautiful pictures. Sir Alan Hops in the chat wants to know if you have any werewolves.
We do not.
No,
not that I know.
Not a one.
Yeah.
Sorry,
maybe
Mr.
they
Hops.
hide somewhere in the woods in there, but you know, it's just nothing that we physically put in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. It may be there, but you guys didn't put it in there. That's the fun part about it. This is going to be a really cool tour, and I'm super excited about it because we get to see that beauty of everything that you guys do at night, getting to be able to experience all 3 different shows in your entire midway. Will there be axe throwing as well, possibly?
Yep, we'll have axe throwing open, so people will be able to experience that. It's not your traditional axe throwing; it's more of a carnival game type of situation for axe throwing. But that'll be open, as well as the merchandise trailer. We'll be serving some beer and seltzers. So we'll have everything open except for the food, since you guys are going to be coming right from dinner prior. So we're not going to do that one.
Yeah, and just to highlight that as part of the tour, getting that Wisconsin experience, we're going to be stopping at the legendary Brat Stop in Kenosha, who has like 12 different varieties of brats and every beer, and of course, all of the new Glarus that you can drink. So you spotted cow lovers, you can belly up to the bar right there and get ready for a night ahead. Included in your ticket, by the way, is one beverage at Abandon. So we're going to get you started off, and they're going to have a full bar and a full merch booth, trailer, actually, a merch trailer full of stuff. Super excited. Guys, how does it feel to, when you look back and reflect on your own time, 2012, you guys come out here, and this is by no means your first haunted attraction. We should maybe talk about that in a second here, but you guys really come out of the box, and then here you are all of these years later, and this attraction has really manifested into one of the biggest shows in all of the Midwest, if not the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's funny when I look back and reflect, because it was 15 years ago was pretty much when we walked into that building, and it was legit abandoned, and it was a lot of cleanup, a lot of prep work just to start building the actual attraction. And I'm sure anyone that's, started a haunted house that's in an old warehouse or something, you probably had to deal with the exact same thing. But it's just a labor of love, and it's just funny because you look back and just all the years of work, we've never stopped. I always like to explain the haunted house as like a giant art project. And we just pause it for the month of October for people to come through it. And then we continue that giant art project again. It just never, ever ends, But it's a labor of love. And I'm sure everyone that owns a haunted house and runs a haunted house can agree with that, And it's just, you always want to go one step higher.
It's always evolving. And even as a fan or an educated consumer, when we get a chance to see that, and you're very good, both of you are very good about not saying anything. You've been working on this project for months or even over years. And some of the most beautiful scenes, your hotel scene, I don't want to give anything away other than it's a hotel scene, but beyond immersive, unbelievable. You forget where you're at. And like you guys just mentioned, that building is not that dramatically big. Like, what are we talking? 14,000 square feet? Like you said, like
it's like 12.5
or 12.5. I mean, it's crazy what you pack in there. And it's not just like, oh, hey, this is a hotel. Like, it's fully immersive, elevators, rooms, even a bridal suite.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was actually trying to think of, when you guys came back here for MHC last time, I think that was 2021. And I was trying to reflect on the amount of scenes that are changed, and it's gotta be close to 60% new stuff out there.
So. Huge credit. Anybody that thinks they've seen it, even from year to year, you guys you never rest. I don't know when you sleep, period. But literally, you're like, oh yeah, we just ripped that out. And I was like, oh, that was one of my favorite scenes. And you're like, yeah, but wait till you see what we have next.
Right.
So, yeah, we're thinking 2-3 years ahead of time, and Matt and I do most of our best spitballing during the season.
Yeah.
So when we're standing outside and watching people go through and enjoy it or coming out, I mean, him and I are talking next season build, the following season build, the year after that. And so we've got a good idea of what we're going to be changing up for the next 2-3 years already. Super exciting for those of you who have been through Abandon. This year, we've got a huge build in Stalker. I mean, huge. It's massive. So, the Stalker itself has evolved like crazy. First year that we opened that, it was a haunted corn walkthrough, and that's it. We were forced to take our buildings down in between seasons, so it was a extremely small amount of build and mainly corn and trying to put paths with actors and stuff like that. There is very, very little space that's not built up in that entire field at this point. So it's big change. We're it was great to get MHC, but when you are forced to finish 3 months early, it surely put the fire under Matt and my ass to get moving. And luckily we're in good shape. We'll pull it off, but it did put the fire under us for sure.
So what you're saying is even less sleep. So appreciate it.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Oh God, I love it. And I love it. Alan talks about that all the time. I love that you guys have a 3-year plan, 3 or 5-year plan, as you guys are always looking, because you're evolving your show. It's something that you take passionately. It is an art project. So we have to ask you a horrible question, but we do to everybody. It's called our favorite kid question. Regardless if the scene is still in play, do each of you have a favorite scene from all of your years of Abandon?
Matt, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. 100% the hotel you talked about. That is
Crazy.
100% the favorite scene I've ever built. It's just the level of realism it can't be beat. I mean, it's creepy walking through it, and I built it, so it's gonna be creepy for everyone else.
Amen.
Yeah, what's cool is like Matt comes up with a plan, and then he gives me his vision, and then we just bounce ideas off each other back and forth until we figure it out. And then I'm the hoarder, I'm the shopper guy. Like, I gotta find all this stuff, so I'll contact hotels in downtown Milwaukee and say, hey, do you have a broken luggage cart laying around? And I ended up having to go up to Kohler to get a luggage cart because we wanted like an old school luggage cart, and just little things like that. And I find all the decorations, and then he's a wizard when it comes to actually putting it together and making it work for a haunted house.
Oh, and the scenes are just the start of it, because you guys do lighting and you round it out with amazing sound. I think I've said this before, but you feel like you're in the middle of a movie. Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you. Appreciate
Chris.
it.
Oh God, I cannot wait until everybody gets a chance to experience this. It's great to see even Mynor commenting in there too. Like, the Christmas guys are ready to, and I know he's got a Halloween side. He's not just Christmas, but
Yeah.
we love that. And Sean, you're so right. And Sammy's riding her horse and can't wait to be here. I know we're going to do some interviews. All right, I got to ask, because Sean Fenner put it in the chat there. How you guys feeling about Malort? Are we going to have any Malort opportunities?
I did that with you one time, and I will never do that again. I'm not sure. I would love to know the reasoning behind. I know it's a Chicago thing, but what is the reasoning, Chris?
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing. And anybody can chime in on the chat here if they want to guide this in a different direction. But by far, I think people know it's bad.
Oh, God.
And I think
hope so.
it's like, haha, I gotcha. It's a prank, or it's wonderful there.
My son did that to me at his graduation party. He's like, oh, let's do a shot of Malort. And I had a horrible reaction. That was it's nasty.
So yes. I will say, when I had Malort, it was actually, Chris, you had mentioned you were getting us all shots of, I believe, Jameson. It was like St. Patrick's Day or something.
Yep.
And that was not Jameson.
No, I will stand by this. So the incident that Matt is referring to, I was taking great pride. We were having a planning meeting. We were discussing, it was St. Patrick's Day, either that day or the day before or after, whatever. Yeah. And so I had gone to the bartender and said, hey, can we do a round of Jameson for everybody? And that's how we were going to end the meeting. And we literally, to keep in tune with that, I was like, Slancha, we're going to do this whole thing right. And even and again, it wasn't the most bright room, but it wasn't dark. I couldn't tell the difference, obviously. And so literally lips to mouth here. And I'm like, oh, this is not Jameson. Okay. So I didn't alert myself as well.
Right.
The intention was not to get everybody. Oh, God. All right, guys, this is awesome. We get to hang out with these guys very, very soon. I think it's like 31 days. We're officially starting that countdown. And we've got 2 different ways that you can do that. I saw Oz actually put a question in the chat about this, so we're going to tackle that right now. If you want to drive yourself, you definitely can. You have that freedom to make all of the stops. There's some amazing souvenir shops, too, where you can enjoy all of your Wisconsin delicacies and bring a little bit back home or to your hotel room. But if you want to come with us and go on the buses and just sit back and relax, bring your own cooler and let us do all the hard work, you can do that as well. So we have 2 different options. And of course, we're going to give you an early bird discount. The tour ticket and the bus ride, early bird, right now, $105. All in. You're going to get dinner. You're going to get Abandoned. You're going to get a party all night, and we do all of the work. If you want to do your self-driving ticket, we'll save you a couple of bucks, $80. So again, that's dinner. That gets you abandoned and all of the fun stuff. So either way, we want you to be there and hang out with these guys. Can you talk about your crew, by the way? I see a lot of them in the chat there, Bruce and Molly and a whole lot. I mean, they are just amazing humans, but also like fierce. They are really committed. They do not break. They are there to play and torture, and it's gonna be a fun time. But how do you guys manage them?
No, it depends on who it is. Some of them, like Emily, it just kind of looked the other way. But no, I mean, it's fun. We want our staff to have creative, freedom. Like this is their thing, right? We want them to enjoy themselves and have the best time. So that's really, I think, one thing that really sets us apart is like they do have a ton of creativity amongst themselves to create characters and bring those characters to life. And that's the cool thing is, we get to sit back and watch it all kind of evolve and happen. But as far as managing them, we just try our best to kind of wrangle them up and say, hey, it's time to chill out a little bit on that one. But it's all in good fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with they feed off of each other. I mean, I've got, the crew is, they're super good at like off season, putting costumes together, but then getting together as groups and showing their stuff off online on our Facebook page and supporting each other and really getting them excited about the upcoming season. The other thing is a lot of places they'll tell the actors like, okay, you're going to be a doctor in this scene and this is what you're going to say. We basically, if it's a hospital, we're like, you can be anything that would make sense in a hospital. You could be the janitor, you could be a patient, you could be a doctor, a nurse, you could be just somebody visiting, you could be somebody that passed away and all of a sudden is coming back to haunt. As long as it makes sense in that scene, and we want them to come up with their own stuff to say too. So bounce ideas off each other, bounce ideas off of us, because when they're creative, it's 100 people thinking about something to say instead of Matt and I. We can only come up with so much stuff, but when you have 100 brains talking about it, way better result as far as I'm concerned.
Love this. It's like a think tank. It's all of you guys creating all of this torture together.
Yeah, we just make the giant playground and they get to play in it. So that's pretty much how it works.
Unbelievable. Yep. Okay, we do have some questions from the audience here. Will there be fire? I've seen it.
There will be fire in multiple places.
Love this. Alan says he is ready to take notes. Super excited for that. Will a certain clown duo make an appearance? Is the question that I saw.
It's expected.
Okay.
It's expected. So
depends if they're at the circus or they'll be able to make it there. But
that's right.
From what I understand, yes, the clowns should be there.
Love this. Love this. Guys, this is amazing. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to say to the TransWorld Live audiences? We get prepared to see you guys in mid-season form right in the beginning of June.
Last time you guys came, it was a Thursday, I think at noon. And,
it was.
We planted a lot of corn at that time. So we had, I think Stalker was just a walkthrough, no corn. You could kind of go through the buildings. This year, it's going to be fully operational as if we're open. Yes. So people are going to be able to experience that from a much, much different perspective than they saw it last time, if they were there and saw it last time. So we're super excited that we can showcase our indoor-outdoor event as well. Last time we were pretty limited to just the inside. So, the actors that work all year long to, hone their craft in Stalker are going to be super excited to show that off as well.
We can't. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I was just going to mention. So if you are from the Midwest, typically we're only open Fridays and Saturdays throughout the month of October. So this might be your chance to see Abandoned. So make sure you actually get your tickets and come out and see the show so you can actually experience it and see what all the excitement's about.
So excited. Now, we did have one last minute question here that just came in. It's inspired by what Oz wrote, actually. Will there be any concessions available at your diner or potentially maybe any chili or lasagna that we might know about?
I can always make the chili lasagna work for some. It takes some sweet talking to somebody, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'll probably make that. But
I'm not sure it'll be available to the masses, but upon request, it might be able to be finagled.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, God.
But as far as the actual concession stand, as far as food goes, we did not plan on having that open just because with you guys stopping at the bra stop and hopefully filling up on some cheese curds, a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Definitely have to. Definitely have to. Guys, this is awesome. They're going to get a taste of Wisconsin, a taste of abandoned in mid-season form. Guys, take a look, abandonedhauntedhouse.com if you want to see more about the show you're about to see. And then when you're ready to buy tickets, MidwestHauntersCon.com. And Robert's going to put that link into the chat right now. Guys, it's so awesome. I cannot wait. It's like we got October around the corner.
Awesome. Thanks,
Yeah,
Chris.
it feels like it. It's exciting.
So excited. All right, guys. See you soon. Thank you so much for doing this.
All right.
guys
We'll
soon.
see you in June.
Heck yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Well, guys, we have some breaking news as well. Super excited to share this. Came in while the show was going on from our good friends at Ghost Ride Productions. Michael Shaley and the entire team there have some really awesome stuff to announce. They're going to be bringing some exclusive and extensive selection of foam blanks, seconds, and casting defect props. Raw, unpainted, ready for customization. You don't have to pay any shipping because they're already going to be there. They're also packing painted and fully furnished props as well. So they're going to offer all kinds of different options for if you want to go all in or if you want it to already be done. They're going to have over 2,000 pounds of unique finds. So this is your warning too. I know the exhibitor list is being finalized now, but this is our first big breaking news here that Ghost Ride bring in a lot of stuff and you can take it cash and carry, pack it in your car, and save yourself a whole lot of shipping fees and any sort of delays because you can take it right there. So this is an awesome opportunity. Thank you to Michael. Thank you to Ghost Ride for all of that. And we want to thank all of you. Thanks for hanging out. A huge thanks to Robert, who works all of his technical masterpiece and helped us make this show possible. We're going to be back next Tuesday, the 13th, as we are on the road to Midwest Haunters Convention. We're going to cover more and get in depth of all of the activities and the fun that we can't wait to have with you at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. Of course, thanks to all of you for tuning in. We can't do it without you. And our last thanks to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. Thanks, guys, and we will see you next Tuesday. Appreciate you.